What if everything we thought we knew about our past, about the dawn of civilization, was merely a fraction of a far grander, more enigmatic truth? What if humanity's earliest chapters contained not just simple hunter-gatherers and nascent farmers, but highly advanced societies capable of feats that defy our most sophisticated modern engineering? For millennia, towering monuments, precisely cut stones, and enigmatic structures have stood as silent witnesses across our planet, whispering tales of forgotten knowledge, colossal endeavors, and perhaps the intervention of something far beyond human comprehension. Mainstream archaeology, with its carefully constructed timelines and conventional explanations, struggles to fully account for these anomalies. It offers theories, often plausible within its established framework, yet these theories frequently leave gaping chasms of unanswered questions, fundamental puzzles that no amount of academic rationalization can fully resolve. We are taught that our ancestors, emerging from the Stone Age, gradually developed agriculture, then simple tools, and finally, the foundational technologies that led to the great empires. Yet, scattered across every continent lie structures that seem to leapfrog millennia of assumed development, presenting a level of complexity, precision, and sheer scale that challenges the very bedrock of this linear progression. These are places that whisper of lost technologies, of an understanding of physics, mathematics, and geology that should not have existed in their era. They are places that force us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Our history might be far richer, far stranger, and far more awe-inspiring than we have ever dared to imagine. What if these sites are not just ancient ruins, but remnants of a forgotten golden age, or perhaps testament to interactions with intelligence not of this world? Consider first the Giza Plateau in Egypt, a landscape dominated by the colossal pyramids. For centuries, these monumental structures have stood as an enduring symbol of ancient civilization and a testament to the might of the pharaohs. The Great Pyramid, attributed to Pharaoh Khufu, is perhaps the most iconic and enigmatic. Mainstream Egyptology asserts its construction was achieved over a period of 20 years, using vast armies of laborers, ramps, sledges, and rudimentary copper tools to precisely cut, transport, and stack over 2 million limestone and granite blocks, each weighing many tons. Some blocks, particularly the granite ceiling slabs in the king's chamber, weigh up to 70 tons, while the massive granite sarcophagus within is carved from a single block of rose granite, an incredibly hard material. The precision of the Great Pyramid is truly astounding. Its base is level to within an inch across its entire 13-acre footprint. The orientation of its four sides is aligned with true north with an accuracy that rivals modern surveying techniques, deviations being mere fractions of a degree. The casing stones, once covering the entire structure, were polished white limestone, fitted with such exactitude that a razor blade could not be inserted between them. How were these massive stones, some quarried hundreds of miles away in Aswan, transported and then lifted to such incredible heights? The official narrative speaks of complex ramp systems, though no definitive, universally accepted evidence of such a massive ramp system for the Great Pyramid has ever been discovered or explained to a satisfactory level. The sheer volume of material, the logistical nightmare of quarrying, moving, and placing these stones with such precision in the assumed time frame, using only the most basic tools, strains credibility for many. Furthermore, the internal structures of the Great Pyramid present even deeper mysteries. The Grand Gallery, with its soaring corbelled ceiling, the intricate air shafts leading from the king's and queen's chambers, and the precise angles and measurements found throughout the structure, all speak to a level of architectural and engineering knowledge far beyond what the dynastic Egyptians are officially credited with. Were the builders simply employing brute force, or did they possess a profound understanding of mechanics, leverage, and perhaps even sound frequencies or other energy manipulation techniques that are now lost to us? The official story, while robust in its claims, struggles to provide comprehensive, practical answers to every aspect of this impossible construction. It posits that sheer will and an abundance of human labor were enough. But was it? Or are we missing a fundamental piece of the puzzle, a lost chapter in the history of technology? Journey now across continents to the high Andes of Bolivia, to the ancient site of Pumapunku. Here, within the sprawling ruins of Tiwanaku, lies a complex that stands as one of the most baffling architectural achievements on Earth. Unlike the rough-hewn, imposing megaliths of other ancient sites, Pumapunku presents something entirely different. A ruined complex of exquisitely carved, precisely interlocking stones, crafted with a level of accuracy that defies explanation in an alleged Bronze Age society. The site is a catastrophic jumble of H-blocks, I-beams, and perfectly planar and angular stones, many weighing tens of tons, yet scattered as if by some immense cataclysmic force. The local Aymara people have a legend that it was built in a single night by giants, or perhaps by gods. The most striking feature of Pumapunku is the incredible precision and consistency of the stone cutting. Many of the blocks are made from andesite and diorite, exceptionally hard igneous rocks, second only to diamond in hardness. Yet, these stones are cut with laser-like precision, exhibiting perfectly flat surfaces, razor-sharp internal and external right angles, and intricate geometric recesses. Some blocks feature small, uniform drill holes, spaced at regular intervals, often terminating in blind cavities, suggesting the use of some kind of advanced rotary or ultrasonic drilling technology. Others display perfect right angles and multiple facets that fit together like a sophisticated jigsaw puzzle, designed to interlock without the need for mortar. These cuts are so precise that even today, fitting a modern piece of paper between some of the remaining connections is impossible. How, with the supposed tools of the time, stone hammers and bronze chisels, could such intricate and perfect cuts be achieved on such incredibly hard rock? Mainstream archaeology suggests abrasion, using sand and water as a method for shaping these stones. However, abrasion would produce rounded edges and uneven surfaces, not the flawless geometric precision seen at Pumapunku. It fails to account for the perfectly sharp internal corners, which are impossible to achieve with a hand tool and abrasive. Such internal corners require a tool that can cut straight into the material without displacing matter around the corner, something like a very fine saw blade or a high-precision automated cutting mechanism. Furthermore, many of the blocks are almost identical in their complex shapes, suggesting a form of mass production or standardized design, an impossible feat without templates and advanced measuring instruments. The largest stone at Pumapunku is estimated to weigh around 131 tons, with many others ranging from 20 to 50 tons. These monolithic blocks were quarried from sites many miles away across difficult terrain. How were they transported to the high altitude of Pumapunku and then elevated and precisely positioned? The sheer scale of the engineering, combined with the inexplicable precision of the stonework, presents a profound challenge to our understanding of ancient capabilities. It hints at a civilization with knowledge of metallurgy, geometry, and engineering that far surpasses the official narrative. Were the builders of Pumapunku working with tools we cannot yet imagine, or did they benefit from a different kind of instruction, a forgotten legacy from an unknown source? The ruins lie in magnificent disarray, a silent scream against the conventional timeline, daring us to question everything. Continuing our journey across the globe, we arrive at Baalbek in modern-day Lebanon, an ancient site famed for its monumental Roman temples built upon a foundation of truly colossal stones. While the Roman structures themselves are impressive, it is the underlying platform, the foundation upon which these later temples were erected, that truly confounds understanding. Here, in the ruins of the Temple of Jupiter, one finds the famous trilithon, a row of 3 massive limestone blocks, each weighing an estimated 800 to 1,000 tons. To put that into perspective, each of these stones weighs more than 2 Boeing 747 jumbo jets. They are arguably the largest stones ever used in construction in the history of the world. These 3 stones, meticulously fitted together and perfectly level, sit 20 feet above the ground, forming part of the retaining wall of the Roman temple platform. Their surfaces are smooth, and their joints are incredibly tight, showing no evidence of mortar. How were these colossal blocks quarried, transported over significant distances, then lifted and precisely placed with such accuracy? Conventional archaeological explanations struggle mightily with this challenge. They often propose elaborate systems of ramps, rollers, and thousands of laborers. Yet the sheer physics of manipulating objects of this weight, even with modern heavy machinery, would be a monumental undertaking. The largest mobile crane in the world today would struggle to lift a single one of these stones. But the mystery deepens. Not far from the Baalbek site, in a nearby quarry, lies an even larger stone, still attached to the bedrock. This block, known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, or Hajar al-Hibla, is estimated to weigh between 1,000 and 1,200 tons. Nearby, even more massive, recently discovered stones lie partially cut from the quarry, suggesting the ancients intended to extract and move blocks of truly unthinkable proportions. Who were the original builders of this colossal platform? The Romans, while formidable engineers, documented their construction methods extensively, and nothing in their records suggests the capability to quarry, transport, and precisely place stones of this magnitude. The Roman temples are clearly built on top of this pre-existing monumental foundation, leading many to speculate that the original builders were an earlier, unknown civilization. The scale of the Baalbek foundation stones suggests a mastery of megalithic construction that far predates the Roman Empire, possibly even thousands of years before. It speaks of a technology, a method of moving and manipulating stone that has been entirely lost to our current understanding. Was it sheer human muscle and ingenuity on a scale unimaginable? Or were there methods involving principles of anti-gravity, sound levitation, or other energy forms that allowed these ancients to achieve the impossible? The Trilithon stands as an enduring question mark in the annals of history, a stark reminder that the official story often has a much deeper, more perplexing prelude. Our expedition takes us next to the high mountains of Peru, to the formidable Inca fortress of Sacsayhuaman, overlooking the ancient city of Cusco. While traditionally attributed to the Inca Empire, the megalithic sections of Sacsayhuaman present a construction style so advanced and enigmatic that it seems to predate and even surpass the known capabilities of the Incas themselves. The site features immense zigzagging walls built from enormous, irregularly shaped limestone boulders perfectly fitted together without mortar. These stones are not simply stacked, they are intricately carved to interlock with multiple angles, creating a structure that is both aesthetically stunning and remarkably resilient. The largest stones at Sacsayhuaman are truly gargantuan, some standing over 20 feet tall and weighing well over 100 tons, with estimates for the largest reaching 120 to 150 tons. These massive blocks are fitted with such precision that not even a knife blade can be inserted between them. The method of achieving these incredibly tight, irregular joints on such massive stones, particularly on a steep hillside, remains a profound mystery. The official explanation posits that the Inca laborers meticulously hand-chiseled each stone to fit its neighbors, using harder stones for tools and countless hours of labor. However, the sheer scale of the stones, their irregular polygonal shapes, and the perfect seamless fit across multiple complex angles defies simple hand tool explanation. Replicating even a small section of this masonry with modern technology would be an immense challenge, requiring advanced measuring equipment, CAD software, and precision cutting tools. The polygonal masonry of Sacsayhuaman also exhibits an extraordinary resistance to earthquakes, a common occurrence in this seismic region. The interlocking, irregularly shaped stones allow the walls to flex and shift during tremors without collapsing, an engineering principle that seems intuitively understood by the ancient builders. How did they achieve such a deep understanding of structural dynamics and material stress without advanced scientific instruments? Furthermore, the quarries for these massive limestone blocks are several miles away from Sacsayhuaman, and the terrain between is rugged and uneven. The transportation of these multi-ton stones up steep inclines, followed by their precise shaping and placement, adds another layer of impossibility to the official narrative. Were the Inca truly the original architects of these cyclopean walls, Or were they inheritors of an even older, more technologically advanced culture that laid the foundations? The Inca themselves spoke of a time before them, of giant builders and a mythical golden age. The intricate cuts, the precise interlocking, and the sheer audacity of moving and shaping such colossal stones challenged the very timeline of Andean civilization. It begs the question, what lost techniques, what forgotten knowledge allowed these ancient masons to sculpt the very earth with such unparalleled skill and scale? Sacsayhuaman stands not just as a fortress, but as an enduring testament to a pre-Incan mastery of stone that continues to baffle and inspire wonder. Our chronological journey now takes us to a site that has fundamentally rewritten our understanding of early human civilization, Göbekli Tepe in southeastern Turkey. Discovered in the mid-1990s, this complex of massive circular enclosures, adorned with intricately carved megalithic pillars, predates Stonehenge by some 6,000 years and the Egyptian pyramids by 7,000 years. Dated to roughly 9,600 BC, Göbekli Tepe emerges from an era long before the invention of pottery, metallurgy, or even settled agriculture. It challenges the very notion that monumental architecture and organized religion arose only after societies developed farming and sedentary lifestyles. Here, we find complex monumental structures built by hunter-gatherers. The site consists of a series of huge circular enclosures, each containing numerous T-shaped pillars, some standing over 18 feet tall and weighing up to 20 tons. These pillars are carved from local limestone, often featuring sophisticated reliefs of animals, foxes, snakes, boars, birds, and insects, depicted with remarkable artistry and symbolism. The enclosures were not merely functional, they appear to have served a ritual or ceremonial purpose, suggesting a highly developed belief system and social structure amongst people who, according to conventional archaeology, should have been living in simple nomadic bands. The most profound mystery of Göbekli Tepe is its sheer age and the level of organization and engineering required for its construction. How did a society of hunter-gatherers, without permanent settlements, without domesticated animals for heavy labor, and without metal tools, manage to quarry, transport, carve, and erect these multi-ton megaliths? The effort involved in creating a single enclosure would have required coordinated labor on an unprecedented scale for its time, implying a complex social hierarchy and a unifying belief system that could motivate such immense undertakings. This site completely overturns the long-held assumption that large-scale social organization and monumental architecture only emerged after the agricultural revolution. Göbekli Tepe suggests the reverse, that complex social structures and monumental construction might have preceded agriculture, perhaps even serving as a catalyst for it. Furthermore, the site was deliberately buried around 8000 BC, meticulously covered with soil and debris, preserving it for millennia. Why would such a monumental effort be expended to enter an entire sacred complex? Was it to protect it from some impending catastrophe, to honor it as a sacred legacy, or perhaps to hide something that the builders deemed too powerful or dangerous to remain exposed? Göbekli Tepe stands as an unyielding testament to the sophistication of early human societies, forcing us to ask, what knowledge, what driving force led these seemingly primitive people to create such an extraordinary complex at the very dawn of settled human existence? It rips a massive hole in our accepted timeline, hinting at a forgotten chapter of human ingenuity, or perhaps a guiding hand from beyond. From the desert plains to the ocean depths, our journey now takes us to a site shrouded in controversy and hidden beneath the waves, the Yonaguni Monument off the coast of Japan. Discovered in 1986 by a local diver, this colossal submerged stone structure presents a series of flat terraces, sharp angles, straight walls, steps, and massive blocks that appear to be carved and assembled with astonishing precision. Located near Yonaguni Island, the westernmost island of Japan, the monument sits at depths ranging from 5 to 40 meters. Its scale is immense, measuring approximately 165 feet tall and 600 feet long. The primary debate surrounding Yonaguni is whether it is a natural geological formation or a man-made structure. Geologists who argue for a natural origin suggest that the monument is a product of natural erosion, specifically the effects of seismic activity and water on sandstone over millions of years, creating striking rectilinear patterns. They point to known natural formations in the region that exhibit similar step-like features and sharp angles. However, proponents of its artificial origin highlight numerous features that seem almost impossible to explain through natural processes alone. These include perfect 90-degree angles, intricate step formations, perfectly flat surfaces, parallel walls, and what appear to be carved channels, roads, and even a large circular depression that resembles an ancient stadium. Perhaps most compelling are features like the arches or gates, the precisely cut drainage gutters, and the presence of what look like deliberate rock carvings and even a potential sphinx-like formation. The sheer regularity and geometric precision of many of these features, spanning such a vast area, strain the credulity of a purely natural explanation. While nature can produce remarkable patterns, the consistent presence of features suggestive of intentional design, such as symmetrically arranged steps leading to a flat terrace, raises profound questions. If it is indeed man-made, its submersion implies a dramatic change in sea level, placing its construction at a time when sea levels were significantly lower, likely at least 10,000 years ago during the last ice age. This would make the Yonaguni Monument one of the oldest and most sophisticated megalithic structures ever discovered, far predating known Japanese civilizations. If the Yonaguni Monument is artificial, it would suggest the existence of a highly advanced unknown civilization in the Pacific Rim during the last glacial maximum, a civilization capable of monumental stone construction and sophisticated engineering at a time when humanity was supposedly still struggling with basic tools on land. The implications are staggering, challenging our entire understanding of human migration, technological development, and the timeline of civilization in East Asia. Was this a forgotten city, swallowed by the rising tides, a testament to a lost people whose story remains untold beneath the waves? Or is it simply a geological anomaly, a breathtaking trick of light and water? The controversy rages, but the undeniable presence of such regular, precise forms beneath the ocean's surface continues to tantalize and perplex, daring us to look beyond the accepted explanations. Journey with us now to the sun-baked plains of Bolivia once more, specifically to the enigmatic site of Tiwanaku, a sprawling complex that surrounds and complements Puma Punku. Tiwanaku, unlike Puma Punku's refined chaos, presents a more conventional, yet equally perplexing, form of megalithic architecture. It is an archaeological enigma that stands as the spiritual and political center of a civilization that flourished for centuries before the rise of the Inca. The official narrative credits the Tiwanaku culture with its construction, spanning from around 500 AD to 1000 AD, a period often referred to as the Middle Horizon in Andean archaeology. Yet, much like other ancient sites, Tiwanaku harbors secrets within its stone walls that challenge this neat chronology. The city is renowned for its immense stone structures, particularly the Akapana Pyramid, the Kalasasaya Temple, and the semi-subterranean temple. These structures are built from massive blocks of sandstone and andesite, some weighing over 100 tons, quarried and transported from significant distances. What truly sets Tiwanaku apart and links it to the mysteries of Puma Punku is the astonishing craftsmanship exhibited in certain areas, particularly the gateway carvings and the precise stone fitting. The Gateway of the Sun, a monolithic arch carved from a single block of andesite, features intricate relief carvings of deities and symbols, all executed with remarkable skill and precision. The details are fine and uniform, appearing to have been rendered with tools far more advanced than simple stone chisels. Many of the stone blocks at Tiwanaku, especially those forming walls and foundations, are fitted together with incredible accuracy, demonstrating the same H-block and I-beam interlocking technology seen at Puma Punku, albeit in a less destroyed state. These precisely cut keyways and slots allowed the builders to create extremely stable structures without the use of mortar, a sophisticated engineering technique that ensured resilience against seismic activity. The ability to cut such hard andesite and sandstone with this degree of precision using only Stone Age tools remains a profound mystery. The sheer scale of the stone blocks, their transport across miles of challenging terrain, and their intricate fitting at high altitude speak to an organizational and technological capability that seems utterly at odds with the mainstream understanding of a culture lacking metal tools and the wheel. Furthermore, geological and archaeological evidence suggests that Tiwanaku, or at least elements of its original construction, might be far older than the accepted dates. Sediment layers and paleogeographical studies indicate that the site once bordered a large ancient lake, Lake Tauca, which dried up thousands of years ago. Some theories propose that Tiwanaku could be much older, perhaps dating back to 12,000 BC, placing it firmly in the category of pre-Diluvian civilizations, a notion vehemently rejected by mainstream archaeology. If Tiwanaku is indeed that ancient, it would rewrite not just South American history, but the entire history of human civilization, placing it in the same enigmatic league as Göbekli Tepe. Were the inhabitants of Tiwanaku merely skilled artisans with rudimentary tools, or did they inherit or discover a lost technology, allowing them to carve and move stone with a precision that still baffles us today? Tiwanaku stands as a monumental question mark, a silent sentinel of a forgotten era, compelling us to look deeper into the conventional timeline. From the high-altitude plains of Bolivia, our investigation takes us to the vast arid expanse of the Nazca Desert in southern Peru, home to one of the most mysterious and enigmatic archaeological sites on Earth, the Nazca Lines. These are not structures in the conventional sense, but rather immense geoglyphs etched into the desert floor over an area of approximately 450 square kilometers. The lines depict a staggering array of figures, including animals like hummingbirds, monkeys, spiders, lizards, pelicans, and fish, as well as geometric shapes such as trapezoids, triangles, spirals, and hundreds of kilometers of perfectly straight lines. These designs are so vast that they can only be fully appreciated from an elevated perspective, hinting at a purpose and capability far beyond the understanding of the people typically credited with their creation. The Nazca Lines were created by removing the reddish-brown iron oxide-coated pebbles and rocks from the desert surface, exposing the lighter-colored subsoil underneath. The climate of the Nazca Desert is one of the driest in the world, with virtually no wind or rain, allowing these incredibly fragile lines to survive for nearly 2 millennia. Attributed to the Nazca culture, which flourished between 100 BC and 800 AD, these geoglyphs represent an immense undertaking, but their purpose and the methods of their creation remain fiercely debated. Mainstream theories suggest they were part of complex astronomical calendars, ceremonial pathways for religious rituals, or giant offerings to gods. They propose that the Nazca people used rudimentary surveying techniques such as ropes, wooden stakes, and perhaps elevated platforms or observation points on nearby hills to scale up smaller designs onto the desert floor. However, the sheer precision and scale of many of the lines, particularly the geometric figures and the straight lines that run for miles across varied terrain, present formidable challenges to these explanations. How did they achieve such perfect straightness over such long distances, often ignoring natural topography? Some lines cut across hills and valleys, maintaining their trajectory with an accuracy that would challenge modern surveying equipment. Furthermore, the sheer scale of some animal figures spanning hundreds of feet would require a consistent perspective only achievable from the air. While rudimentary methods involving gridding and scaling are proposed, the consistent perfection of the designs, their uniform execution over such a vast area, and the obvious need for an aerial view to check the work lead many to question if a more sophisticated understanding of geometry, perspective, and perhaps even some form of lighter-than-air craft was involved. The most perplexing question is their purpose. If they were purely for ceremonial ground use, why were they designed to be seen best from above? This unique characteristic has led to speculative theories, ranging from the lines being astronomical observatories for tracking celestial events to indicators of underground water sources, or even, more controversially, messages or landing strips for extraterrestrial visitors. The Nazca culture did not possess written language in the modern sense, so these geoglyphs might represent a form of communication or record-keeping that we simply do not understand. Were the Nazca people simply creating art for their deities, knowing it could only be fully appreciated by beings from the sky, or did they possess knowledge of flight, perhaps in a form we no longer recognize? The Nazca lines remain an enduring symbol of human ingenuity, stretched to the limits of our comprehension, a silent, monumental question etched into the face of the earth. Crossing the globe once more, we arrive at the island of Sardinia in the Mediterranean, home to thousands of enigmatic megalithic structures known as nuraghe. These imposing stone towers, unique to Sardinia, date primarily from the Bronze Age, between 1900 BC and 730 BC. There are over 7,000 nuraghe scattered across the island, with estimates suggesting that as many as 10,000 to 30,000 may have originally existed. They vary in complexity from simple conical towers to elaborate multi-towered complexes, often incorporating surrounding villages. These structures were built using massive unmortared dry stone masonry, with each stone meticulously placed to create incredibly stable, self-supporting corbelled domes and false arches. The most striking feature of the nuraghe is their robust construction and architectural sophistication. The walls are often several meters thick at the base, tapering upwards, giving them an almost impregnable quality. The stones, many weighing several tons, are precisely cut and fitted without mortar, relying on gravity and expert craftsmanship to maintain structural integrity. The internal passages, staircases, and chambers are often skillfully integrated within the massive stone walls, creating complex layouts. How did the nuragic people in the Bronze Age, without cranes or advanced engineering tools, manage to quarry, transport, and stack these enormous stones to build thousands of such imposing structures across their island? The sheer volume of megalithic construction on Sardinia is staggering, implying a highly organized society with a deep understanding of architecture and engineering. The purpose of the nuraghe remains a subject of intense debate. While many scholars suggest they served as defensive fortresses, residences, temples, or even astronomical observatories, no single theory fully accounts for their vast numbers, varied forms, and often isolated locations. Some nuraghe are strategically placed on hilltops, while others are found in valleys, seemingly without military purpose. The intricate internal structures and the presence of wells and cisterns suggest they were inhabited, but their monumental scale often seems disproportionate to the size of the communities they would have housed. Could they have served multiple purposes, adapting over time, or did they fulfill a function that is now entirely lost to us? Furthermore, some nuraghe, such as Santo Antine, exhibit an extraordinary level of architectural complexity, with multiple towers connected by intricate wall systems and sophisticated corbelled domes that reach impressive heights. The precision of the stonework and the sheer engineering effort involved in their construction suggest a technological capability that often seems to exceed the conventional understanding of Bronze Age societies. Were the nuragic people simply exceptionally skilled at dry stone masonry, or did they possess a more advanced knowledge of statics, leverage, and construction techniques that allowed them to achieve such monumental feats? The nuraghe of Sardinia stand as a silent, stony enigma, an island-wide testament to a lost civilization whose ingenuity and purpose continue to challenge our understanding of ancient European history. Let us now turn our attention to the ancient city of Nan Madol, a perplexing archaeological site in Micronesia located off the coast of Pohnpei Island. Nan Madol is often referred to as the Venice of the Pacific due to its unique construction, an artificial archipelago of nearly 100 rectangular islets built upon coral reefs and connected by a network of tidal canals. What makes Nan Madol truly extraordinary is that these islets and the structures upon them are constructed from massive basalt and columnar basalt logs, some weighing up to 50 tons. This sprawling stone city, dating from around 1200 AD to 1500 AD, served as the ceremonial and political seat of the Saudeleur dynasty. The construction of Nan Madol presents an immense engineering challenge. The columnar basalt logs, naturally hexagonal or pentagonal in cross-section, were quarried from distant volcanic sites on the main island of Pohnpei. These massive logs, some reaching 20 feet in length, were then transported across water, lifted, and meticulously stacked in a crisscross pattern resembling giant Lincoln logs to form towering walls, often 25 feet high and 17 feet thick. How did the ancient Pohnpeians, without metal tools, pulleys, or any form of mechanical advantage, manage to quarry, transport, and precisely place these colossal basalt columns? The logistics of moving such heavy stones, particularly over water and onto artificial platforms, would have been an incredible feat even with modern equipment. Local legends offer mystical explanations, speaking of a powerful sorcerer named Sapaway, who, with the help of his brother, possessed the power of levitation to fly the huge stones into place. While intriguing, these legends highlight the perceived impossibility of the task for human hands alone. Mainstream archaeology proposes the use of rafts for transport and complex systems of levers and ramps to lift the stones into position. However, replicating such an undertaking with the assumed technology of the time remains highly speculative. The sheer scale of construction, millions of tons of basalt moved and precisely placed, suggests an organizational effort and technological ingenuity that seems far beyond what is conventionally attributed to a small island culture of the period. Beyond the logistical challenges, the very concept of building an entire city on artificial islands, enduring the constant erosion of tidal waters, speaks to an advanced understanding of maritime engineering and hydrology. The interconnected canals and artificial islets demonstrate a mastery of controlling water flow and creating a stable environment for habitation. Nan Madol stands as a monumental testament to a lost and perhaps mystifying technology and social organization. Was it merely the result of incredible human ingenuity and untold hours of labor? Or does it hint at a forgotten chapter of oceanic civilization, one perhaps guided by knowledge and power that we can only now begin to ponder? This silent city on the waves continues to confound, a testament to what we don't know about ancient capabilities. Our quest to uncover the impossible now brings us to Malta, a small archipelago in the Mediterranean Sea, home to some of the oldest freestanding stone structures in the world, the megalithic temples of Malta. Dating back to as early as 3600 BC, these temples predate Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids by more than 1,000 years. Sites like Gantija, Hagar Kim, Manasdra, and Tarxian are monumental structures built from massive coralline limestone blocks, some weighing upwards of 20 tons. These temples, often featuring intricate internal layouts with multiple apses and chambers, represent an extraordinary feat of engineering and architectural sophistication for their time. The most perplexing aspect of the Maltese temples is the sheer size of the megalithic blocks used in their construction and the precision with which they were handled. The entrance to Hagar Kim, for instance, is formed by 3 massive stones, 2 vertical and 1 horizontal, weighing an estimated 20 tons each. How were these colossal blocks, quarried from local sites, transported, lifted, and meticulously placed to form towering walls, intricate doorways, and impressive corbelled roofs? Mainstream archaeology suggests the use of rollers, levers, and human power, possibly using specific types of stones as ball bearings to move the immense blocks over distances. However, the sheer weight of these stones, combined with the undulating terrain, makes such explanations seem inadequate for the consistent monumental scale seen across the entire archipelago. Adding to the mystery are peculiar features found within the temples, such as oracle holes and altars that show signs of finely drilled perforations. Some stones exhibit strange patterns of small, uniform depressions, almost as if a tool with multiple cutting points was used. Furthermore, the temples often demonstrate sophisticated astronomical alignments, suggesting an advanced understanding of celestial mechanics. The precise orientation of doorways and altars to mark solstices and equinoxes speaks to a culture deeply connected to the cosmos, capable of meticulous observation and complex calculations. The people who built these temples, often referred to as the temple builders, left no written records, and their civilization mysteriously vanished around 2500 BC. They were seemingly isolated, yet they developed an unparalleled megalithic culture. Were they an indigenous people who, through sheer ingenuity and concerted effort, achieved these astonishing feats, or did they possess knowledge or tools that have been lost to the sands of time? The Maltese temples stand as silent, enduring monuments to a lost civilization, their colossal stones asking profound questions about the capabilities of our distant ancestors, challenging the very notion of what was possible in the pre-Bronze Age world. Our global tour of the impossible ancient sites continues, leading us to the enigmatic stone balls of Costa Rica. Scattered across the Diquís Delta and on Isla del Caño, over 300 perfectly spherical stone orbs, ranging in size from a few centimeters to over 2 meters in diameter and weighing up to 15 tons, have been discovered. These perfectly round artifacts, known locally as La Bolas de Piedra, were created by an ancient culture, possibly the Diquís people, dating back as far as 600 AD to 1600 AD. Their purpose and the methods by which they were created remain one of archaeology's most enduring mysteries. The primary enigma surrounding these stone balls is their astonishing sphericity. Many of the larger spheres are almost perfectly round, with deviations of less than a few centimeters across their entire diameter. They are carved from hard igneous rocks like granodiorite, which presents a significant challenge. How did a pre-Columbian civilization, without metal tools, power tools, or advanced mathematical instruments, manage to sculpt such perfectly symmetrical spheres from incredibly hard stone? Mainstream theories propose a lengthy process of pecking and grinding using other stones and abrasive sand to gradually shape the boulders. However, achieving such consistent, near-perfect sphericity on objects of this size and hardness purely by hand would require an extraordinary level of skill, patience, and a system for measuring and verifying roundness that is not readily apparent from the archaeological record. The precise function of these stone balls is also a mystery. They have been found in various contexts, some in alignments, others in groups, and some in isolation. They are often found near ancient settlement sites, but their exact role, whether as markers of status, astronomical indicators, calendar components, or purely decorative elements, remains unknown. Local legends abound, attributing their creation to the lost city of Atlantis or claiming they are symbols of forgotten cosmic knowledge. The logistical challenge of transporting the larger multi-ton spheres from their quarry sites, often several kilometers away, to their final positions, further adds to their enigmatic nature. How were these immense, perfectly spherical objects moved without the wheel or domesticated pack animals? The stone balls of Costa Rica defy simple explanation, pushing the boundaries of what we believe ancient cultures were capable of. They represent a monumental investment of labor and an unparalleled mastery of stone carving and geometry. Were they purely artistic expressions, or did they serve a deeper, scientific, or spiritual purpose that we have yet to decipher? These silent, spherical sentinels stand as a testament to the unknown capabilities of an ancient people, their perfect forms a constant challenge to our understanding of pre-Columbian ingenuity and precision. Our final stop on this initial exploration of the impossible ancient world takes us to Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, a remote Polynesian island in the southeastern Pacific Ocean. This isolated landmass is famed for its monumental statues, the moai, which stand as enduring symbols of a lost civilization and its inexplicable achievements. Nearly 900 colossal stone figures, some over 30 feet tall and weighing up to 80 tons, dot the island, facing inland from ceremonial platforms called ahu. These statues were carved by the Rapa Nui people between 1250 AD and 1500 AD. The sheer scale of the moai and the logistics of their creation and transport present one of the greatest archaeological puzzles. The statues were carved from soft volcanic tuff found in the Rano Raraku quarry, where nearly 400 incomplete moai still lie, some partially carved into the bedrock, others abandoned en route. How did the Rapa Nui sculpt these enormous figures with only rudimentary stone tools, and then, more importantly, transport them across the rugged terrain of the island, sometimes many miles, to their ceremonial platforms? Mainstream theories propose a combination of ropes, sledges, and rocking mechanisms, or perhaps walking the moai upright using a sophisticated system of ropes and manpower. While experiments have shown that these methods are theoretically possible for smaller statues, the challenges of moving the largest 80-ton figures across varied topography remain immense. The mystery deepens with the ahu, the ceremonial platforms themselves. These platforms are often constructed from meticulously cut and fitted basalt and scoria stones, some weighing many tons, demonstrating advanced masonry skills. The most impressive is Ahu Tongariki, a platform supporting 15 moai, some weighing up to 86 tons, which were re-erected in the 1990s using modern cranes. The effort involved in raising these colossal statues onto their platforms, often after horizontal transport, pushes the limits of what is conceivable with simple technology. How did an isolated island culture with limited resources achieve such a monumental feat of engineering and organization? Furthermore, the purpose of the moai is still debated. They are believed to represent deified ancestors, symbols of tribal power and religious belief. But the sheer scale of the undertaking, the depletion of the island's resources to carve and move them, and the eventual collapse of the Rapa Nui society all point to a culture driven by an extraordinary and perhaps ultimately unsustainable obsession. Were the Rapa Nui simply pushed to their environmental limits by their own ambitious beliefs, or did they possess a deeper, perhaps now lost, understanding of material manipulation or energy that allowed them to achieve such impossible feats? The moai of Easter Island stand as silent, haunting sentinels, enduring monuments to a profound mystery, a civilization that reached for the colossal, leaving behind only questions etched in stone. These impossible places, scattered across continents and oceans, from the monumental precision of Giza to the submerged enigma of Yonaguni, from the ancient sophistication of Göbekli Tepe to the precise geometry of Pumapunku, all whisper of a past far more complex and advanced than our current understanding allows. They challenge the linear progression of human history, forcing us to confront the possibility of lost technologies, forgotten civilizations, or even perhaps interventions from beyond our world. Each site, with its unique set of unexplained phenomena, demands that we look beyond the official narratives and ask the deeper, more unsettling questions. What if these are not merely ancient ruins, but clues to a forgotten chapter of human achievement, a legacy that continues to baffle and inspire wonder, urging us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about the origins of civilization? The stones remain, silent witnesses, waiting for us to truly understand their message. Yet, the message from these silent witnesses extends far beyond the familiar shores and well-trodden paths of our history books. Consider the titanic foundations of Baalbek in modern-day Lebanon, a site whose sheer scale and engineering audacity dwarf even the most ambitious Roman constructions erected upon it. Here, nestled in the fertile Bekaa Valley, lie the ruins of a Roman temple complex dedicated to Jupiter, Venus, and Bacchus. However, beneath these imposing Roman structures, beneath the very ground they stand upon, lies an older, far more mysterious foundation, a platform of truly colossal megalithic stones. These aren't merely large, they are, by conventional standards, impossible. The most famous of these colossal blocks is the Trilithon, 3 immense stones forming part of the temple's western retaining wall, each weighing approximately 800 to 1,000 tons. To put this into perspective, a modern locomotive weighs around 200 tons. The largest single quarried block known to exist, still resting in a nearby quarry, is the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, or Hajar el Gubal, estimated to weigh between 1,200 and 1,950 tons. A more recently discovered block in the same quarry surpasses even this, weighing an astounding 150 to 2,000 tons. How were stones of such inconceivable mass precisely quarried from the bedrock, moved across undulating terrain, and then lifted into position with such exactitude by any ancient civilization known to us? Mainstream archaeology attributes the construction of the Baalbek platform to the Romans, citing the sheer scale of their empire and their famed engineering prowess. However, even Roman engineers, masters of concrete and impressive lifting techniques, never attempted anything remotely close to the scale seen at Baalbek. Their largest known lifted stones elsewhere weigh a mere fraction of those in the trilithon. Furthermore, the style and precision of the megalithic foundation blocks, with their tight-fitting joints and cyclopean dimensions, bear little resemblance to typical Roman construction methods. Could it be that the Romans simply built upon an existing, far older foundation, a legacy of a predecessor civilization whose capabilities far exceeded anything we currently credit them with? The precision of the cuts, the flat surfaces, and the almost seamless joins between stones that weigh more than entire freight trains present a profound challenge to our understanding of ancient technology. Were the builders of this base structure human, or did they possess knowledge and tools that have been entirely erased from our collective memory, perhaps even derived from an origin we dare not yet contemplate? Baalbek remains a monumental testament to a lost art of heavy lifting, a silent question carved into the very earth itself. Further east, beneath the shifting sands of the Egyptian desert, lies another profound mystery, the Serapeum of Saqqara. This sprawling underground labyrinth, discovered in 1851 by Auguste Mariette, is a network of subterranean tunnels housing 24 gigantic, highly polished sarcophagi. Fashioned from the hardest known types of granite and diorite, each of these monolithic boxes weighs an estimated 70 to 100 tons, including their massive lids. Their internal and external surfaces exhibit an almost unbelievable flatness and precision, with perfectly right-angled corners and parallel walls. The level of craftsmanship displayed in their creation rivals, and in some respects surpasses, the capabilities of modern precision machining. Consider the immense difficulty involved. Quarrying blocks of granite and diorite of such size from distant locations would have been a monumental task in itself. Transporting them through miles of desert, then maneuvering them down narrow, descending tunnels to their final resting places within the subterranean chambers, beggars belief. But it is the precision of their construction that truly confounds. To cut, hollow out, and polish such vast quantities of extremely hard stone to an accuracy that modern engineers struggle to replicate using only the known tools of ancient Egypt, copper chisels and abrasive sands, seems utterly impossible. Microscopic analysis of the sarcophagi's surfaces has revealed tool marks consistent with rotary cutting and boring methods that suggest a level of technological sophistication far beyond what is conventionally attributed to the dynastic Egyptians. The purpose of these monumental boxes adds another layer to the enigma. While they are referred to as sarcophagi, very few contained any mummified remains, and those that did were inconsistent with royal burials. If they were not for pharaohs or sacred Apis bulls, as often suggested, then what was their true function? Were they containers for something far more valuable than a physical body, perhaps a form of energetic device, a repository of knowledge, or a component of a larger, now defunct technological system? The Serapeum challenges the established narrative of ancient Egyptian technology, hinting at a forgotten legacy of precision engineering, a mastery of materials, and a purpose that transcends the conventional understanding of tomb construction. What secrets do these perfectly crafted boxes truly hold, entombed in darkness for millennia, waiting for an interpretation that acknowledges their astonishing reality? Venturing across the vast Pacific to the remote Micronesian island of Pohnpei, we encounter the enigmatic ruins of Nan Madol, often referred to as the Venice of the Pacific. This sprawling ancient city, built directly on top of a coral reef, consists of nearly 100 artificial islets, interconnected by a network of canals. What makes Nan Madol truly inexplicable is its construction material, Massive prismatic columns of basalt, some weighing up to 50 tons, stacked log cabin style to form towering walls, foundations, and monumental structures. The sheer scale of this endeavor, undertaken by a relatively isolated island culture between 1200 and 1500 AD, is astounding. The basalt columns used in Nan Madol's construction are not native to Pohnpei's immediate vicinity. They had to be quarried from volcanic plugs on the opposite side of the island and then transported over water across miles of open ocean to the construction site. Imagine the logistical nightmare of moving hundreds of thousands of these colossal stone beams, some reaching 25 feet in length, without the benefit of advanced maritime technology or heavy lifting equipment as we understand it. How were these stones floated or propelled and then lifted and precisely positioned on the artificial islets? The intricate engineering required to build and maintain an entire city on a shifting coral reef, exposed to the relentless forces of the Pacific Ocean, speaks of a profound understanding of hydrodynamics, geology, and construction techniques that defy conventional explanations for a culture of that era. The oral traditions of the local islanders speak of two sorcerer brothers, Olisipa and Olosopa, who used magic or the aid of a flying dragon to lift the stones into place. While these stories are often dismissed as myth, they represent the culture's attempt to explain something that inherently seemed impossible to them, just as it does to us today. Could these legends be distorted echoes of a forgotten technology, a method of levitation, or a mastery of natural forces that allowed for such improbable feats? Nan Madol, slowly succumbing to the encroaching jungle and the relentless sea, stands as a testament to an inexplicable architectural genius, a vanished civilization that mastered the art of building upon the waves, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions etched in stone and water. Its silent ruins challenge our preconceived notions of what ancient seafaring cultures were capable of achieving, suggesting a sophistication that still eludes our full comprehension. These sites, and countless others like them, from the perfectly interlocking polygonal masonry of Sacsayhuaman in Peru to the mysterious stone spheres of Costa Rica, continue to defy easy categorization and conventional archaeological interpretation. They present not merely isolated anomalies, but a consistent pattern of advanced capabilities across disparate cultures and epochs. The precision, the scale, the choice of materials, and the sheer audacity of these ancient endeavors collectively paint a picture of a past far more complex, more technologically capable, and perhaps even more enigmatic than the linear progression of human history we are taught. We are compelled to ask, if our ancestors were merely primitive, driven by basic needs and rudimentary tools, how did they consistently achieve feats that challenge our most advanced modern engineering? Were they guided by a forgotten science, aided by unknown forces, or did they inherit knowledge from a civilization that has since vanished without a trace, leaving only these colossal monuments as their enduring, puzzling legacy? The true story of humanity's past may be far stranger and more wondrous than we have ever dared to imagine. Beyond the conventional narrative, beneath the veneer of accepted history, lie structures like Baalbek in modern-day Lebanon. Enigma so profound, it compels a re-evaluation of ancient capabilities. Here, amongst the ruins of colossal Roman temples dedicated to Jupiter, Bacchus, and Venus, rests an older, far more staggering foundation. The Romans, famed for their engineering prowess, built their magnificent structures upon a pre-existing platform, an acropolis of Cyclopean scale, constructed by hands unknown, using methods still debated. It is the western retaining wall of this platform that holds the most astonishing secret, the trilithon. The trilithon consists of three immense megaliths, each weighing an estimated 750 to 1,000 tons. To put this into perspective, a modern locomotive weighs around 200 tons. These stones, some of the largest ever used in construction, are so perfectly cut and fitted together with joins so tight that a razor blade cannot be inserted between them, that they seem to defy not just ancient, but even modern construction techniques. How did a culture, supposedly operating with rudimentary tools, quarry stones of this magnitude, transport them over distances, and then lift them into such precise alignment, hundreds of feet above the valley floor. Mainstream theories propose an elaborate system of ramps, levers, and thousands of laborers, yet the sheer physics of friction and structural integrity for such weights, on what would have been impermanent earthen ramps, remain profoundly problematic. Further challenging our understanding is the presence of an even larger stone, still partially attached in a nearby quarry, known as the Hajar al-Hibla, or the stone of the pregnant woman, estimated to weigh well over 1,000 tons. This unfinished monolith, intended for the same platform, speaks to an ambition and a capability that seems utterly out of place in any established historical timeline for the region. Who possessed the technology to envision and attempt such a colossal undertaking? Were these truly human hands, or did a forgotten science, perhaps even an advanced civilization predating our own, leave this indelible mark of impossible engineering? The answers offered by conventional archaeology often feel like approximations, struggling to bridge the chasm between known ancient technology and the undeniable evidence carved in stone. Yet, Baalbek is not an isolated marvel. Thousands of miles away, nestled in the southeastern Anatolian region of Turkey, lies a site that has shattered archaeological paradigms and forced a complete rethink of human civilization's origins. Göbekli Tepe. Discovered in the mid-1990s, this sprawling complex of monumental stone circles and T-shaped pillars dates back an astonishing 12,000 years to the pre-pottery Neolithic age. This makes it thousands of years older than Stonehenge, the Great Pyramids, or any other known megalithic structure, and crucially, it predates the accepted advent of agriculture and settled life. Here, hunter-gatherers, supposedly simple and nomadic, somehow organized to quarry, carve, and erect massive limestone pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, into sophisticated circular enclosures. The pillars are adorned with intricate and highly artistic carvings of animals, foxes, snakes, boars, birds, depicting a complex symbolic language and a rich spiritual world. What compelled these early humans, still living off the land, to dedicate such immense resources and coordinated effort to construct not a dwelling, but a ceremonial complex of unprecedented scale and artistry? The very existence of Göbekli Tepe challenges the fundamental premise that monumental architecture and complex social organization only emerged after the development of agriculture and settled villages. The mystery deepens with the understanding that these enormous structures were not built to last forever. After centuries of use, the entire site was deliberately and systematically buried, filled in with earth, creating artificial mounds that preserved its secrets for millennia. This intentional interment, requiring an effort almost as significant as its construction, raises further questions about the purpose of Göbekli Tepe and the beliefs of its builders. Was it a sacred pilgrimage site, a gathering place for different tribes, or something more profound, a sanctuary for knowledge or a record of celestial events? The absence of domestic structures, hearths, or waste middens suggests it was not a settlement, but purely a place of ritual, a colossal temple complex built by a society far more sophisticated in its spiritual and organizational capacity than our history books have allowed for the pre-agricultural era. The implications are staggering. If so-called primitive hunter-gatherers were capable of such monumental architecture, intricate art, and complex social organization, then the entire timeline of human development needs to be re-evaluated. Did these people possess a lost understanding of engineering, astronomy, or a form of social cohesion that modern science struggles to comprehend? Göbekli Tepe stands as a silent yet thunderous testament to a forgotten chapter of human ingenuity, suggesting that the foundations of civilization are far deeper and far more enigmatic than we have ever dared to conceive. It forces us to ask if the linear progression of human history is a convenient fiction, masking cyclical patterns of advancement and decline, with some of humanity's most incredible achievements buried under the sands of time, waiting to be rediscovered. These silent monuments, scattered across continents and submerged beneath oceans, compel us to confront the profound possibility that our ancestors possessed knowledge and capabilities far beyond what we currently credit them with. Each defies a simple answer, standing as a persistent challenge to conventional narratives. Each defies a simple answer, standing as a persistent challenge to conventional narratives. What profound secrets,